645AR. I don't know if you remember.
That sounds like a real rap name.
If you remember this dude, it was like 4 or 5 years ago. He had a really squeaky voice and he would rap like me, 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 me.
Yeah, it's the Almanac of Rap show. I got opinions and they all factual. No news, just information that you won't be able to use unless you're at a dinner party trying to impress who's in attendance with endless tidbits of nonsense. We're gonna have a good time, I promise. YouTube rabbit holes, ready deep dives, pulling out old interviews from the archives. Styles, fads, trends, all of that. It's the Almanac of Rap.
Welcome to the Almanac of Rap. I'm your host, Donwill, and today we'll be talking about internet rappers with Von Pea. We'll get into that in a second, but first, I gotta kick the Ballistics. A couple of weeks ago, I interviewed Questlove about how he basically built a blueprint for social media when he made the Okayplayer website. Okayplayer's heyday was long before Black Twitter, but make no mistake, it is in the fabric of Black Twitter's DNA. Before the internet, spreading the word about your band used to be a ripple effect that started locally and moved from regional to national to global. Social media gave artists the ability to transcend that regional rat race and move directly to international pursuits. Spotify's analytics are just an evolution of the play counter on the MySpace music player. Those used to be the charts for musicians online. Remember that time when Justin Timberlake bought MySpace and tried to bring it back as a side-scrolling website with a single that featured Jay-Z? Man, RIP MySpace. Since every artist is online now, internet rapper is a very watery term, but it used to hold a different kind of weight. When the internet only existed in your computer room, selling people on artists that were only online was a much harder prospect. But trust me, if you were online back then, you remember all those artists like I do. Artists like Riff Raff, Creation, Gucci, Louis, Lil B, shout out to my guy Lil Boss, hey, that's my boy.
Bass God.
Soulja Boy. These artists paved the way for other artists like Trinidad James, Lil Nas X, and Donald Glover, aka Childish Gambino. In 2024, there are more tools than ever for artists to engage their fan base online. But back in the heyday of internet rap, if you could get a banner ad on your favorite blog or see a post with your name float to the top of the Okayplayer message boards, it was almost like getting a billboard in Times Square or hearing a car drive past bumping your jams. That kind of reminds me of the time when Khaled tried to diss Tyler by calling Igor mysterious music because he never heard it bumping out of cars or in the club.
A piece of me really didn't like that at all.
Now Tyler's definitely someone who leveraged the internet early on.
The weirdo was winning. I was moonwalking in a wig.
And Khaled is the polar opposite of what I call an internet artist, unless we're talking about memes.
Another one.
The through line of all of this is that artists have been leveraging technology to circumvent gatekeeping of traditional channels for years. Getting shut out of participating in platforms with limited slot time will always be an issue, and finding a fan base wherever you can will always be the solution. It's what Questlove did when he galvanized all the like minds he could find, and it's at the heart of what we're attempting to do with social media in general. To flourish online, you need a special set of social skills. You've also got to adhere to a few hard and fast rules of engagement, which are as follows. Rule number 1, don't read the comments. There's nothing good in there. Rule number 2, whatever you put online is there forever. You can't control screenshots, so you gotta control what you post. Rule number 3, context is key. And most times, niggas ain't reading all that anyway. So get to the point and make your point. Rule number 4, if you say it, mean it. As the kids say, stand on business. Rule number 5, be who you are online and offline, which is essentially the same as rule number 4, but it's still just as important. So how does all this relate to rap, you ask? Don't worry, I'm getting to it. Okayplayer also birthed some of the first rappers to ever leverage the internet for their careers. Acts like Little Brother, and yep, my group, Tanya Morgan as well. Which brings us to today's guest, Von Pea. He's a founding member of the rap group Tanya Morgan, and he's been in the trenches of this internet rap it for a long time. So hopefully he can help me get to the heart of what internet rappers are and explain what Okayplayer was like in its heyday.
No tricks. No tricks. No tricks. No tricks. No tricks.
Von, welcome to the show.
Happy to be here.
Listen, you're truly a person who needs no introduction from me. But for the people watching and listening, you are a member of Tanya Morgan, our rap group, producer, MC extraordinaire, and you also have a very, very vibrant solo career as an artist with the other guys, and you do cool stuff with them. But
shout out to Aeon.
Shouts to Aeon, yeah, man.
Yeah.
But since we haven't caught up in a while, I wanted to ask you a couple questions about where you're at now.
Let's go.
You live in Raleigh, North Carolina now.
Yes, I do.
I'm a transplant to New York. I've been here for like 15 years.
You're the real New Yorker now.
I'm the real New Yorker. You're the new Yorker. So I know what being a transplant is like firsthand. I experience every day. But what is your experience being a transplant like?
In North Carolina, first of all, my wife and I, we got down there right before the pandemic. And I'm not down there as like a full-time musician. I'm there, I'm working. So got down there, started managing a retail store, and world shut down. So now we're just all walking around with masks on. We had to move in the middle of the pandemic. We had to move again. The world opened back up, and to be honest, I'm still down there adjusting as if it's still 2019, to tell you the truth, because it kind of is. And like this is like a post, as you called it the other day, this is after the snap. So I'm still figuring it out in Raleigh. It's fun to like run into artists down there. Like I'll run into Fonte sometimes casually. I run into Crisis. I run into like Tab One from Cooley High. Khalida Duran. Just like it's cool. Like I'll run into artists, but I'm actually getting back into like I'm snapping out of I'm a dude trying to live his life and I'm in this new town. I'm like, wait. You are an artist. You are. You're Von Pea. So
do not forget.
I'm finding my way back to being that dude.
So getting into your artistic endeavors, which are also my artistic endeavors. This year is the 15th anniversary of our album, Brooklynati.
Yes.
15. That album can drive a car.
I wouldn't let it drive a car, but it can. Yeah.
But so, again, for the people who don't know, we're in a group named Tanya Morgan, and our album, Brooklynati, a critically acclaimed album, by the way.
15.
Turns 15 this year. It's our second album.
The Metacritic went crazy on that album.
It did. It went really crazy. So in making that album, it was our sophomore album. And in my recollection of making that album, I was like trying to figure out how to write differently and how to like make my writing more clear and make my words.
I remember that.
I have such a thick Midwestern accent. Even now, I'm turning it out. I'm turning it off for this. Part of the Brooklynati's theme was creating our own city to exist in because we were from the internet for the most part. We were from where we were from, but our music career was birthed online.
It was a little early.
Yeah, so we were kind of like proto-internet rappers. And internet rappers now aren't really a thing because everybody lives online.
Everybody, yeah.
But there was a sweet spot in those years, somewhere between 09 and 15. It coincides with the blog era specifically. But it was this way that you could circumnavigate regional success and just go national immediately. Is internet rapper like a derogatory term in some ways?
I think everything is. I think the SoundCloud rappers don't like being called that. I don't think I mean, you saw, who was it, Billie Eilish just got in trouble, quote unquote in trouble, because she said they're TikTok people here. People don't like being called where you know them from. So
I think that's the thing, is that, like having a city affiliation is a source of pride. Yeah. But there's so many negative connotations with online communities in general. It's not a source of pride. It's a source of like, how do you know I'm like the poster or like the edgelords? I'm not that person. I'm just a cool dude. But you're a TikTok person. We were Okayplayers.
With that said, I was about to say, I'm proud. You can call me an Okayplayer rapper.
Yeah.
I'll be an Okayplayer rapper.
Yeah, Okayplayer is the foundation.
I'll take it. Absolutely.
It's responsible for us sitting at this table right now.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have known you if I got.
I'm only doing this interview for an Okayplayer shirt. If I leave out here without my shirt, I'm killing every. No, I'm just kidding.
He said he's kidding, but he literally texted me, Don, tell him I need an Okayplayer shirt. I need a shirt. But
where's my shirt? Nah, I'm playing.
But so speaking of internet rappers and internet rapper being a derogatory term, I want to play a game with you today about internet rappers. I'm going to give you a few names of people who I consider to be internet rappers and people who I made up
Okay, let's go.
So you got to guess who the real person is.
Go ahead and attack me. I want all the hives to attack me on my social media.
Oh, I don't think anybody has hives.
Okay, good.
Except for Beyonce. Shout out to Beyonce. Yeah. The first verses, the first set of people. Lil Mabu or Main Main? Who's the real rapper?
Oh, God. Lil Mabu's the real rapper.
Lil Mabu is the real rapper.
That sounds like the real rapper.
He is an interesting person. I don't know if you heard it. Like, I love these internet deep dives. I'll be on my YouTube looking at his videos. It's fascinating.
I have not seen it, but
you want me to describe it to you or keep going?
Describe it. Let's go.
He's like if Lil Dicky was a drill rapper. He has some stuff that's not drill, but he's very much like a cardigans, boat shoes white boy that's like rapping over fucking drill music. It's crazy.
Sounds like Martin Shkreli, like when he had those dudes around him with Ghostface.
Yeah, it's literally
Sounds
that.
like
Yo,
that.
literally, that is literally his vibe.
For whatever reason, you think it's okay to beef with me.
That's literally
Okay,
the vibe.
word.
All right, the next one. Fettuccine plates or MC Virgins?
It's definitely Fettuccine Plates is the real artist.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
It is not. It's MC Virgins.
Wow.
MC Virgins is the real answer. And I discovered them while researching this thing.
Never had sex.
So I don't know much about MC
Let me make a
Virgins.
call real quick so I can go ahead and trademark Fettuccine Plates.
That's a dope name. It's a fire name.
Fettuccine Plates.
He will be down with Action Bronson, I think.
I was about to say, I was
Fettuccine
like,
Plates.
sign them up.
All right, the next
Album
one.
with Alchemist coming soon. Fettuccine Plates.
Yo, and Freddie Gibbs would kill the feature. The next one, 645 AR or earworm with ear spelled 34 worm, 34R worm.
I just short circuited. My brain just cut
It was
off.
just too much information.
Blue screen of death. Gotta.
So just
I can't handle that. I have no idea. I'm gonna say the real rapper is the verses in between those two names.
Okay, yeah. The
Versus
real rappers do go to verses. None of these niggas go to verses. But,
I have no idea.
The real rapper is 645 AR. 645 AR. I don't know if you remember.
That sounds like a real rap name.
If you remember this dude, it was like 4 or 5 years ago. He had a really squeaky voice, and he would rap like me, 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 me.
Not the Cardi B in a cardigan dude. Not that dude.
No.
I like a cardigan in a cardigan. Or not that dude.
He
But
basically, like, okay, so
I do remember though, because it was more than one dude.
it was more than, like, Playboy, they kind of saw Playboy Cardi and was like, oh, we should go higher.
Oh, now I'm getting in trouble with the hives. I do not understand. This is how I know I'm getting old. I do not understand Playboy Cardi's errors. Like, ooh, the regular voice era, Cardi. Ooh, baby voice. Yo, deep voice Cardi?
So
Deep voice Cardi though?
New York, I'm Millie Rock. Had it in my sock.
645
I don't get
AR
it.
is basically baby voice Cardi, but with a more of a
Higher,
pitched
on
up.
45 so I can dance to it.
I'll play it for you. We're gonna put it in this video. It's
Okay.
insane. It's
Yeah,
insanity.
I don't get it, but cool.
The thing that tripped me out in researching this is he's validated now because he has a song with FKA Twigs. Which,
That's valid, yeah.
because they kind of have the same voice in a weird way. It's really strange.
I gotta check this stuff out, man.
But
'cause
yeah, his song is
it's
called,
too many artists for me to keep up with.
you know I'm going to send it to you.
Okay.
We have two more. Zanny Bars or Three Loco.
Three Loco.
Three Loco. Three Loco is a group that consists of Riff Raff, Andy Milonakis,
Riff
and
Raff.
Dirt Nasty.
I like Riff Raff though.
I like Riff Raff.
I love Riff Raff.
Riff Raff is one of my problematic faves. He was
I'ma blow
problematic
up
early on.
and act like I don't know nobody.
I don't know nobody.
All right, last one. Viper or Bear?
Wait, Viper isn't Viper? You cowards don't even smoke crack.
He is. You cowards
So that's
don't
the
even
real
smoke crack.
artist.
That's the real artist.
You cowards don't even smoke crack.
Listen.
He just got in trouble for something else.
He
too.
did. I was debating putting him on this thing, but we won't go into all that.
What's up with that? Y'all cowards don't even smoke crack.
It's the 15th anniversary of Tanya Morgan's Brooklynati, but it's also the 25th anniversary of Okayplayer.
Yes,
as
it
a
is.
website as a whole. And it's safe to say,
True site since '99.
true since '99. It's safe to say that Okayplayer invented this chronically online. Safe
Yeah.
to say, like it invented. I won't say it invented the internet because there had to be internet for it to get there. But social media as a whole, it kind of filled in a lot of those gaps. We were both at the front lines on the message board. You know what I'm saying? We made. I was an honorary moderator. You were a moderator, and like not honorary. You were an actual moderator. You could delete people's shit. You had power.
I still can.
You can go in there and just nuke the whole board if you want to.
I
But
still can.
What was your overall experience like on that website? Like, first of all, how did you even find the message boards?
Okay, so I became a Roots fan, and became a Roots fan from Distortion and Static. Long story short, I bought Illadelph Half-Life, and it had all these notes in it.
Yep.
From Quest. I'm like, this is cool. He's like, this is like a book with an album. Cool. Got the next album.
I gotta pause you real quick. I love Quest's liner notes.
Yes.
Like before he became like a published author, New York Times bestseller, his liner notes, man, like I wish I would have kept all my CDs.
Phenomenal.
Okay.
He could publish those and make a book.
Absolutely could.
So I didn't know that was the thing. So I had got the next Roots album. I'm giving you the whole long story. I remember hearing 100% Dundee on the radio and saying to myself, oh, this feels like Illadelph Half-Life, so let me go get it again. Let me go get because I still was a casual fan. Yeah. So I bought it. Every song had like some different creative thing, like the beat fading out or just all this awesome stuff. And I'm reading it and I'm like, yo, I'm a fan now. I love these dudes. So I sort of, if I'm not mistaken, okayplayer.com was in the liner notes, but I still didn't go to the site. I had AOL, You've Got Mail, welcome or whatever you
free hours of CDs. Yeah. Yep.
And on the little welcome page, it was like a super close up of Quest in the afro. I click it, it takes me to Okayplayer like the first week or two, and it's like blog entries of him. And I was like, wait, there's a website. I didn't know about blogs and none of that. So I'm like, there's a website where he's like doing liner notes every day. Like that's what it was in my brain.
Essentially, yeah.
So I would go there and just look at him or Angie writing stuff every day. And one day there was a link to the boards.
That was the first hit of crack. Like that was for Viper. That was.
Okay, I can't say, but you know, we're critical artists. We're critical artists. We love music. We're critical artists. Quest was being critical of a producer. And I registered and jumped on Okayplayer just to be like, yo, Quest, stop hating. And he actually replied, and he's like, nah, brother, I'm not hating. I just think, you know, he can do more. He can push more with his sound. And then I was like, he spoke back to me, and I stayed. And I wasn't, like now you have more people that just say bull just so that an artist can respond. But back then, I literally was like, yo, don't hate. I like you, I like him, don't hate.
Yeah, yeah.
But then he responded, so I just kept talking, and I just stayed on Okayplayer. Met you shortly after. You heard my first recorded song ever that I ever made.
Look at that. Okayplayer, bringing people together since 1999.
Facts.
But that was essentially what the website was for, just to create that discourse so that he could be more humanized and not be a dude on the drums on stage and then vanish into the ether. It's a special place, and I don't want to wax too poetic about it. We got a limited amount of time. Is there anything from that time that you remember that you still carry, like a sort of rule, like you saw war from the front lines? Did you come home and like, are you not eating with your back towards the door? Like, what's the thing?
As an artist, as a creative person, that was the realest place, and you know, I feel like it was the most genuine, sincere place, especially at the time, because it was like, these are just people listening to a song, and they don't know if Common is reading it, or if, you know, if D'Angelo's reading it, or Jill Scott's reading it. They're just like, I heard this new Black Star song. I like Kweli's verse, I don't like Moses' verse. And that's it, where now it's more like, hey, at Yasin Bey, I want you to know that I don't like that shirt you had on. Respond to me. But back then it was just like, yo, this is whack, this is not whack. And people like myself, we, you know, that were early out there, you know, back to like Little Brother, even, you know, I would say Quest at the time was taking what people were saying and it was genuine, and would go back to the studio and say, maybe we should change this. So, you know, somebody in the studio may have said, I don't like the snare drum on that. But it was people in the lesson that were actually like beat nerds, like that snare is wrong or whatever. And you would go and change it. Like there were times when I've been up there and they would say, I don't like the way you chop your samples. Yeah. But then that made me get better. There was like, yo, nothing's happening in this track. So then we come back and now there's more movement in the track or whatever. So it was still a place to get better. And I still take that with me, and not everybody is trying to just get a rise out of you.
Right. Some people are actually trying to help.
Yeah,
or
like,
be
hey,
honest.
I really want
Like,
this to be better.
I would, if I had to sum that up, I would say just don't be weird.
Don't be weird.
Just don't be weird. If you're online, please just don't be weird. Be who you are. If you don't like something, you don't like it. It's fine, but you don't have to be a weirdo about it. Don't tell me to my face.
I hope I don't sound like I'm being in my day.
Listen, that's what this is for, though. It was 25 years ago.
It was.
You can shake your fist at the clouds here. It's fine. We're old men. You know what I'm saying?
We are. And
we look young.
It.
We don't look it though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It was just a little more like honest.
Yeah.
Back then, it was more earnest.
Well, I need a little bit of advice from you.
Okay.
But it's not for me. It could be for me, or it could be for an aspiring internet rapper. But I just want to know if you could just give me a word of advice, like about either trying to be a rapper. Trying to be online and mind your business. Like, how would you advise the listening audience or me?
Do whatever sounds good to you, because believe it or not, people don't want you to do the same thing that the next person is doing.
Facts.
Do what sounds good to you. Realize that the thing that people like in that song, in that piece of content, whatever it is, they don't like the whole package for you to do the whole package yourself. They might like the melody or something. Okay, well, you make something melodic. They may like the rhythm or something, or you do something rhythmic. But don't just take what somebody else did and you do it, because that's only going to work for so long. So I would just say, whatever you're doing, I don't care if you started making music today. If you come up with something fly and original and new today, so be it. If you come up with something that, like, I wear my influences on my sleeve, but I'm always trying to make it me, and we're always trying to make it us. So that's my advice. Just do your thing. It is never too late to do your thing. Do your thing, and if you wear your influences on your sleeve, eventually put your jacket on and make it fresh for you. Right. So 645 AR, we appreciate you for doing your own thing, because it got you far. You know what I'm saying? You know? Man, I don't want to make this about him so much. We might end it. But yeah, thank you so much for your time and your advice. I appreciate it. Happy to be here. Von Pea. Shout out to Von Pea for dropping by and chopping it up with us. I'll have a link in the show notes to find out more about his music, as well as a link to the 15-year anniversary pressing of Brooklynati. And that's it. That's our show.
The Almanac of Rap was created, hosted, and written by me, Donwill. The show's executive producers are Donwill and Isha Sesay. The show was produced and directed by Travis Harris. Hassan Spruill is the assistant producer. The show was edited by Baffour. The camera operators are Travis Harris, Kaushik Kalidindi, Melissa Bunny Elian, and Baffour. Art direction was handled by Kaushik Kalidindi. Graphic design by Crystal Salon. The technical director is Compton Timberwolf. Music production was handled by Von Pea. Rihanna Harris is the production assistant. But before we get out of here, remember Lil Terrio? Oh, kill him. Oh, oh. He's got a fitness program now.
As a lot of y'all may know, I lost close to 200 pounds naturally, man. And not only was I staying focused on my diet and staying disciplined on my diet, but a main factor was faster cardio, man.
I love a rebrand and success story as much as the next person. Kill him, Terrio. Oh, kill him. Oh.